All right, what is going on, guys? We are live. I tried to go live yesterday, but for some reason, Facebook just would not allow it, which is pretty crazy. So today, I wanted to go live and talk about self-doubts. And if you see me looking down here, I just have some notes of some of the things that I wanted to make sure that I cover about self-doubt as we go through it. And as always, if you are watching this live, do hashtag live. If you're watching on replay, hashtag replay. They're in the comments, as well as, ask any questions, that type of thing while you guys are down there. So self-doubt is something that keeps a lot of people stuck or not moving or progressing forward. So a lot of times people think that the more successful you are, the less self-doubt that you'll have, or the less doubt you'll have, or the more confidence you'll have. And what I've actually found is a lot of times it's actually the opposite, because the more success that you see, or the more that you've progressed, the bigger usually your goals become as you're continually moving forward. And whenever you try to improve or evolve or kind of go to that next level, you're going to have some type of level of self-doubt, because usually it's out of your comfort zone. It's new, it's usually bigger and better. And with that comes an inherent kind of default setting of, oh, maybe you can't do this. Oh, maybe they won't listen. Oh, maybe you shouldn't try. Maybe you're going to fail, whatever the case is, right? So those are the thoughts that naturally, kind of the natural man, the initial knee-jerk reaction is kind of along that route. And that's why so many people don't do it. That's why so many people kind of stay in their comfort zone, is because whenever they do try to get out and do something new or progress or whatever in some way, they have those negative feelings, those negative thoughts that come in, that creep in. And a lot of times we don't know how to get rid of them. We don't know how to stop thinking those negative things, or doubting ourselves or whatever, because we've never been taught. That type of control over our thoughts and our emotions isn't something that's taught on a regular basis. So I hope that you can kind of take some of the things that I'll teach you or talk about today and be able to apply that to help you if you are struggling with any type of self-doubt. So my biggest thing is that self-doubt is a choice. Now, I say that, and I am human just like everybody else, and I have my own struggles and my own self-doubts, and so I know that it's easier said than done. But self-doubt is a choice, so you can choose to doubt your doubts, right? If you follow the model, there's circumstances that happen. There are thoughts that we have about those circumstances which cause an emotion, cause an action, cause the results that we're looking for. Now, if you doubt your doubts, that's kind of in the thought category. Something happens, we're trying to achieve something, that's the circumstance, and then we have certain thoughts about that. And if we can stop it at that level, and if we are experiencing doubts, actually doubt those doubts, right? Instead of knee-jerk accepting those doubts and having those negative emotions and moving forward in actions off of those thoughts, maybe we take actions off of different thoughts, and we'll kind of talk about that. So our brain is designed to keep us safe. Our brain is designed to keep us in our comfort zone, because the unknown is scary, the growth is scary. We have what we know, and even if we don't like what we know, it's just easier to kind of stay where we are. We see this a lot with people with unfulfilling jobs that they want to leave for whatever reason. And because that process is scary, it's the unknown, even though they think and know that they would be happier doing something else, they stay with what they're comfortable with because it's comfortable. It doesn't require as much effort. Now, having dreams kind of expose our doubts, because we actually have to put forth effort to change those, to change and to improve and to grow and to accomplish those dreams and those goals. But if we don't ever have those dreams or goals, or if they just kind of stay as dreams and they're not anything actionable, then we always have kind of that excuse of it's not real. It's just kind of in this area. And so as you actually move forward towards those things, you're going to have self-doubts that creep up. But like I said, those are just your own thoughts, and you get to choose if you think and believe those things, and then how we react and act accordingly. My question would be to you is, what do you think about yourself when you think about yourself? Sometimes we don't ever actually get into, we don't ever get that deep into it, or we've never even asked ourselves that question of like, how do I feel about me, or what do I think about me, versus just what we are naturally thinking and going and doing, right? Taking that step away and recognizing that we are not our thoughts. We are actually in control of our thoughts, and thinking and being conscious about how we think and then therefore feel about ourselves, right? So when you are, because the same thing, you can choose to doubt your doubts. Like confidence is also a choice, right? I don't say, go and be arrogant, and, that's a whole nother thing. But having self-confidence is a choice. You can choose to be confident. So yeah, that would be my first question is, how do you think about yourself when you're thinking about yourself? And then how do you, if you can kind of look at your experiences, what are some of the actions that you take off of those thoughts, right? So if you're constantly thinking to yourself, oh, I'm a shy person, well, how does that make you act? How does that make you feel? And then like, how do you present to yourself? How do you present yourself into the world? On the flip side, if you think about yourself, oh, well, I'm a confident person. Well, then how do you go and express yourself in the world with that thought, right? You can see how changing your thoughts or how you think about yourself changes the way that you actually go and act, right? And we know that we're in control of our thoughts. So if you think about yourself a different way, then that will cause you to feel and then act a different way as you go into the world, which will then further facilitate that thinking, emotion, action circle, because it just kind of gets reinforced, right? So doubt your doubts, and confidence is a choice. Self-doubt is a choice. You are choosing to feel and think that way. Now, am I saying that if what you're doing is aligned with your energy and you feel like it's exactly what you should be doing and all of those things, that you won't have self-doubt? Absolutely not. It will still happen. Just because I'm aware that I'm choosing to have self-doubt, or I'm aware that it's a choice. And like, let's take coaching, for example. I genuinely feel and know that it's what I should be doing in my life because of the experience that I've had with coaching, because of the experience that I have with clients and the success stories, and how I feel while I'm coaching, and how I've had feedback of how I've been able to help other people, that this is what I should be doing in life. It doesn't mean that, like, even though I'm aligned with it, doesn't mean that I don't have self-doubts, right? It doesn't mean that I don't suffer from imposter syndrome and all of those things. But what I'm saying is that when you are aligned, when your energy is kind of aligned with it, and you're aware of the fact that you get to choose to be confident, you get to choose your thoughts, it just makes it that much easier to be able to recognize and be aware of that fact, and be able to think and act and adjust accordingly. If this makes sense, do #makes sense down there in the comments. And a lot of times, especially in this day and age, I was actually just talking to a buddy about it. One of the problems with not just social media, but just like our whole existence now, like if I want a cheeseburger back in the day, even 30 years ago, it would take a lot for me to have a cheeseburger. But now I can drive literally anywhere, or even easier, press a few buttons on my phone, and a cheeseburger is at my front door within, minutes. It's crazy. You can get so many things so fast. We feel like everything should be that easy, and overcoming self-doubt is not that easy. It requires effort, right? Accomplishing goals and getting results and improving ourselves, especially if we have a big goal, it's not easy. It requires effort, which that is kind of the limiting factor for a lot of people, because it requires so much effort. a lot of times people don't move forward to accomplish it. It's same thing when I'm chatting with somebody about possibly joining the program, and they'll tell me for one reason or another it's not a good fit, and I'll sometimes ask them like, okay, money aside, or this other thing aside, do you feel like it's a perfect fit? Do you feel like it's going to solve your problem? And they're like, yes, it sounds incredible, and they talk so many great things about it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, if you take that thing out of, like let's say money, okay, let's say you take the money aspect out of it, and let's say you just paid that amount, and no matter what, you're guaranteed results, you would do it, right? 100% you would do it. Okay, let's say the program that they're looking at is $1,000. You pay $1,000, boom, you're at your goal instantly. Would you do it? 100%. But the thing is it takes effort, and with that effort, there is an inherent amount of self-doubt. So usually when I'm chatting with somebody and they end up not joining the program for one reason or another, usually when you dial it back and you peel back the layers, it actually comes from a level of self-doubt where they're not sure, or they're unsure if they would be able to accomplish the results, even given all of the tools. Kind of let that sink in a little bit, that we are actually, and our self-doubt is actually the limiting factor in a lot of areas of our life, right? If we had the confidence and the lack of self-doubt to try to accomplish and to actually move forward with what we have set forth in our life, let's take fitness for example. If we knew that we could not fail, we had the confidence that we were not going to fail, and there was no self-doubt, what could we accomplish? Could be pretty incredible. So I have a few other notes that I wanted to get through, but I feel like I just kind of want to leave it on that note that self-doubt is a choice, right? Doubt your doubts. And then also ask yourself, what do I think and how do I feel about myself when I'm thinking about myself, right? Separating yourself from your thoughts and analyzing and kind of looking at it. So doubt your doubts because it's a choice. How do you feel about yourself? How do you think about yourself when you're thinking about yourself? And recognize that if you could not fail, if there was no self-doubt, like what could you accomplish, right? Not just in a physical aspect, but just like in your whole life. What could you accomplish if you had no self-doubt, if you knew that you could not fail and you genuinely believed that? Put that in the comments below. I feel like that could be a really powerful discussion of what could you accomplish if you could not fail. What would you try to accomplish if you could not fail? Could be really cool. So if you guys have any questions, let me know, and I will check you guys in the next live.